crating an engine to ship. So it's really not that bad to do. Sometimes you don't have to, depending on the engine. These H50s are pretty heavy, so they really need to be crated. If you're sending me an engine and you were going to go ahead and build a crate, you know, that I could just bolt it back in and ship it back to you, remember to factor in if there's other things that are going on the engine, or if you're sending it to me in pieces, there has to be enough room in that box to be sent as a whole, like if you got it from Tecumseh, so it would be assembled. So remember that, and we can discuss things that can come off, but I paint these factory style, so they are painted fully assembled. I do not take bolts off and put them back on to paint things, because you lose torque settings, you lose all that stuff. That's amateur hour to me. So anyway, I kind of take what Tecumseh did, like with their motorsports engines, and that's, if you have a crate that actually fits your engine, that's great. The one thing you need to definitely do though is bolt the engine to a piece of wood. Now this is just a loose piece of wood actually in there that the bolts are to, but it fits the crate perfectly. And then what they used to keep the engine from moving around was this cardboard lining that pressed against, you can see where it's, you know, presses against the ridge, where it pressed against the top, and then these were just zip tied down to lock them, and that held them without any packing material or anything. So basically I cut this plywood to fit the inside of my banker's boxes that I'm using, okay? And then for this one I'm just using some 2x2s, and I will just, basically these will attach to the four corners, so, and it'll run up the box, so when you put your top pieces on, that will lock this whole engine from being able to move anywhere around. And then what I've been doing is, like, I use nailers and things like that to put the box or the crate together, and then I've been using my staple gun and stapling, running some staples, and that kind of keeps that you're kind of skinning it with the box. As far as after you do the four corners, you know, do some reinforcements that would go the top edge at the very least, and then, you know, even if you have some thin material that you can staple here and there, like I've had boxes, or I've had engines sent to me in a crate that was literally just strips of wood, and you could see the engine inside of it, which is actually fine. You know, and then you could literally just take some cardboard and staple it to the outside and tape up the edges. Again, you know, you just want it to be super strong so that engine can't move around. So hopefully that kind of makes some sense and gives you some ideas. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. Sometimes there's some thought, you know, you got to put some thought into it and dig up some scrap wood. Like for instance, this plywood is actually too thin, so I'm doubling it up because I had a nice piece of scrap from the hurricane. You know, and try to use what you can because wood gets expensive. But hopefully that makes sense and gives you some ideas how to crate one of these. And have a good day.